What is up, wrestling fans? Tony Mango here, welcoming you to another edition of the Internet Wrestling Community Outreach portion of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast for the week. Let's start things off with the Smark My Words, one of my favorite comments throughout the week from you guys. And this week, it goes for something that's not actually in our normal range of where I usually pick from, because I usually pick from the stuff that's on the screen right now, the YouTube, the Megamaniacs, the Twitter, you know, that kind of stuff. But this is from my personal Facebook. I have, the other day I lost my phone, died on me. It just crapped out in the middle of nowhere, which was a real fun process because it took 4 fucking hours to buy a brand new phone at T-Mobile because they had everything that went wrong in the process, and it was just hell of a day. But in the process, I lost all of my contacts and stuff, so I put out a little thing of new phone, lost all contacts, message me yo numbers. Just that everybody is not familiar with the whole thing. Mad TV used to have a sketch that was really funny. One of the funniest ones that they did, because Mad TV wasn't really all that funny. But it was just this one girl playing the part of like typical guy where it's like, yeah, that's nice, but can I have your number? Like that kind of thing. So I figured I'd put that out there, whatever like that. Guess 5 leaves a comment. 5. Took me a second, actually, when I was reading it. I was just like, 5? Wait, what? And I'm like, oh, I get it. Your number is 5, because you're guest 5. Fuck you, pal. I loved it, though. That made me crack up. And it was a hell of a day. Just all that other kind of stuff like that. So me putting that kind of message out there and getting something that made me crack up was one of the first times that day that I actually wasn't just like all stressed out and stuff like that. So thank you, Guest 5, for, you know, giving me a little bit of levity when it comes to that stuff, and for doing the joke that you know that I would have appreciated too, because I do love my puns and shit. And of course, thank you to everybody who leaves their comments on all the different kind of stuff that I've talked about before, because it's always greatly appreciated. I read every single comment that you guys send in, whatever platform it is. And one of those, of course, if you don't know it by now, I've repeated it a million times, but I'll say it again, is our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/themegamaniacs. That is where we do our live chatting for the different shows, and that's where we just bullshit throughout the week. So if you are on Facebook, well, then you need to be in that group, because that is where you're going to have some fun with us. Next week is going to be the May mailbag special, so start sending in your questions for anything that you want to pick our brains about, whether it's a wrestling-related question or not. You can do so by tweeting at SmarkOutMoment with the hashtag mailbag, or you can leave an email through the contact form of the website, and if you send it in, we'll try to answer it. If you want to help support the growth of Smark Out Moment for the future, there's a couple different things that you should be aware of. As far as monetary donations, if you got the spare change, you can donate money directly through the PayPal at the bottom of smarkoutmoment.com, the Patreon account, or the YouTube's fan funding thing, which they might not even have anymore at this point because they keep changing everything around, but I'll keep saying it until I stop being lazy and I double check. You could also buy t-shirts, mugs, and notebook covers and stickers and all sorts of different other kind of merchandise at our Redbubble and our TeePublic shops. And you can help spread the word about the website in a couple different ways if you don't have the money to kind of, be a part of those two things. One of them is if you're going to a wrestling show, then as part of the Sign Me Up initiative, just take a sign that says Smark Out Moment to it and send me a picture of yourself holding it up. Peter kind of did that this week with printing something out on a piece of paper, but that doesn't really count. That's just a piece of paper, Peter. But nonetheless, the thought's appreciated greatly, of course. But the most important thing that you guys can do as far as trying to help us grow for the future is to try to boost our presence on social media and on the internet in general, because if you do things like retweeting and following us on Twitter, liking and sharing our posts on Facebook, especially the sharing part of that, giving the YouTube videos a thumbs up so it boosts the SEO on that, leaving comments on the YouTube videos, subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, all that kind of stuff, including also sharing the website's articles on Reddit and on message boards and anything else that you can think of to get our name out there. All that kind of stuff can help out quite a bit because you never know who's going to be paying attention and who can maybe pass that on to their friends and so on and so forth. And the same obviously applies to fanboysanonymous.com, which is my spot for movie reviews and superhero talk and different stuff like that. And if you're interested in that kind of material and you want to geek out with me on that sort of stuff, head on over to fanboysanonymous.com and follow the Facebook and Twitter accounts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel there. Do the same kind of stuff that you would be doing for a Smark Out Moment for that thing because it's all coming to the same source. And, you know, if that ends up getting a boost, then Smark Out Moment gets a boost and vice versa. And that brings us to the major topic of the video, the wrestling trivia question of the week, otherwise known as the Ask Him. Last week's question, nobody guessed. But actually, didn't really think too many people would get it because I didn't know this until I started looking up it. The question was, which English wrestler was that's on the current roster once wrestled as a Japanese star named Darkside Hayabusa? And that is Neville. In a 2009 show, he and two other wrestlers were the personas of this other Japanese star, Hayabusa, and he was apparently Darkside version of that. So, weird, crazy things on the indie scenes. You can pretend to be a Japanese guy, but you're a facet of the Japanese guy's personality, and, you know, kind of insanity that you don't really necessarily see in WWE. But, as I said, nobody guessed it correct, so we're going to move on to this week's question. And this is because Jinder Mahal is going to be having his first, like, truly major important match in WWE, finally, after all these years, at Backlash. I figured let's talk a little bit about Jinder Mahal. And I did my little bit of research here and there, started to look for something interesting. And apparently, there are 5 different people with the Singh name that in some relation have something to do with Jinder Mahal's career. So this is a little bit of a Tony question, but name the 5 Singhs, and I don't mean sing in the sense of Singhs. So I'll give you a little bit of credit when it comes to that. Name the 5 Singhs that have a relation to Jinder Mahal's career. If you think you know the answer, you want to leave a guess, or you want to do anything else in the comments below, go ahead and do that. Drop those comments, and then next week we'll break down whatever we got to break down. But that's going to be it for the IWC outreach. So thanks for listening, everybody. Hit that subscribe button and that little bell icon to get the notifications of the next couple of videos that are going to be coming your way, because those next videos are the breakdown of the men's and the women's brackets for round 4 of the Sexiest Superstars tournament. Then we have the NXT TakeOver predictions, the Backlash predictions, and then, of course, the post shows for both of those. And then, of course, the week after that, we get the May mailbag special and every other thing that's happening for there. So lots of content coming your way. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel and the website, follow the Facebook and Twitter account, all that other kind of stuff, and you'll be aware of whenever that stuff comes up. But for now, this has been another Smark Out moment, and I'm being counted out.